As you all know, Donald Trump is now the president-elect. We're on the worst timeline, etc., etc. Every day we are introduced to new horrors in the form of his cabinet picks, but one question has remained, at least up until now. What was he going to do with Elon Musk? You might recall Elon was present for Donald Trump's phone call with after you win the presidency, you get your prize is that you get to call every single guy. That's what you get after you win the presidency. You get to call every leader, all the business magnates that want to talk to you, everyone. You know, you're going to be the president. You get in. That's like the ultimate in. You get to talk with whoever you want. Elon was present in Donald Trump's call to Zelensky, you know, Ukraine's president, which is grim, of course, because we know that Elon is if not a puppet of the Kremlin, then let's say, heavily tied. You know, he met with Putin, denied it, but then he went on social media and started repeating Kremlin propaganda. The timeline lines up really well. He was also apparently, and this one's also quite funny, he was also present in the conversation between Trump and Serbia's president, which is he just here for all of them? Is he just like chilling there, like in Mar-a-Lago, like every phone call that goes, or they're on like Discord together? It's just like they're in the group call. I don't know. It's pretty wild. But apparently Elon is like fully riding Donald Trump's C and B to not get my editors something to demonetize.
Mar-a-Lago has basically been brimming for the last 2 days, I'm told, with two kinds of people: those angling for a job and those who are trying to influence Trump into hiring their picks. But one person has loomed over all of that. His name is Elon Musk.
Heard of this
Multiple
guy.
sources tell me tonight that Musk has been seen at Mar-a-Lago nearly every single day since Donald Trump won, dining with him on the patio at times. Today, they were seen on the golf course together. Musk has been in the room when world leaders have called Trump. And tonight, we've learned he's also weighing in on staffing decisions, making clear his preference for certain roles even. Publicly tonight, Elon Musk is back.
Elon and Trump used to not be on good terms. Elon backed DeSantis and said Trump needed to step down. Trump made fun of Elon. Now, of course, Elon, who is a worm and has no principles, he has slithered his way into this because he knew that his wealth and influence would give Donald Trump a necessary boost to the campaign. Donald Trump presumably is now indebted to Elon Musk, both literally and, conceptually. So Elon is now following around and pestering him. There are two ways to take this. There are only two ways to take this, okay? There's the way that is horrifying and the way that is funny. The funny possibility is that Elon Musk is stupid. Well, that's the case either way. We know he's stupid. But he is stupid enough that he thinks he has won himself real power, when in reality, the people who are making the moves behind the scenes in the president-elect's cabinet, in his decision-making, are far more intelligent. Elon may have the money and he may have an entire social media site, but he can't really play the game. So he's just following Trump around and pestering him. That's funny. The terrifying alternate possibility is that Elon is stupid, and in addition to that, he's effectively the shadow president. I know that sounds stupid, but it's not impossible. Donald Trump's influence has always been up for sale. That's not new. That's been his entire life. And it's possible that Elon might have indebted Trump to himself to the extent that he actually can, despite not being able to play the political game, effectively kind of, do what he wants. We'll get to that more in a sec. Finish the clip.
Backing Florida Senator Rick Scott as the next leader of the Republican conference to replace Mitch McConnell. While Musk himself is still not expected to take any kind of formal position inside Trump's administration, given how complicated it would be with his companies, what's becoming clearer tonight is that...
Boy, who cares about that? Donald Trump didn't divest from his companies when he became president.
He doesn't really need to, with one source telling me Elon Musk is having just as much influence from the outside.
So that she's kind of asking the same question here as I am posing, hypothetically. Today, just an hour ago, we got a statement from the president-elect, Donald J. Trump. Folks, it's actually happening. I am pleased to announce that the great Elon Musk, phenomenal, working in conjunction with American patriot Vivek Ramaswamy, will lead the Department of Governmental Efficiency, aka DOGE. Together, these two wonderful Americans will pave the way for my administration to dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies, essential to the Save America movement. This will send shockwaves through the system and anyone involved in government waste, which is a lot of people, stated Mr. Musk. It will become potentially the Manhattan Project of our time. What a strange comparison to make, considering the Manhattan Project is known primarily for heralding destruction and also was a huge expense. That's a very odd thing to compare. I don't know. Republican politicians have dreamed about the objectives of DOGE for a very long time. To drive this kind of drastic change, the Department of Government Efficiency will provide advice and guidance from outside the government and will partner with the White House and Office of Management and Budget to drive large-scale structural reform and create an entrepreneurial approach to government never seen before. So they are they have no actual power. Literally none. This is literally a non-governmental agency. It's an NGO. And the fact that Vivek Ramaswamy, who has no real power or influence, except for as a Trump simp, is being thrown into this as well, really gives me the impression that this is like being promoted to uselessness. Here you go, Elon. Here's your Department of Reddit. We're going to call it what you wanted to call it, and you're a very special and important boy. There is a slim possibility that the cabinet will hold actual power, not because of the institution itself, but because Elon has power over the Trump administration. But I have to say, this really does seem like Elon and Vivek both being led calmly over to the the kids' table at Thanksgiving. I look forward to Elon and Vivek making changes to the federal bureaucracy with an eye on efficiency and at the same time making life better for all Americans. Importantly, we will drive out the massive waste and fraud which exists throughout our annual $6.5 trillion of government spending. They will work together to liberate our economy, capital E, and make the U.S. government accountable to we the people. Their work will conclude no later than July 4th, 2026. A smaller government with more efficiency and less bureaucracy will be the perfect gift to America on the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. I am confident they will succeed. Yeah, my impression is that they're being sent to the kids' table. You know, when you're like playing games with your friends and your mom insists that your little kid brother joins in as well, so you give them a controller, but the controller's not plugged in, so they're just like, and they're into it because they're not smart enough to know. Yeah, if Elon was shadow presidenting DOGE, would be a department of the White House, all good signs here. Well, it's actually really difficult to create a new department. Like the last time one was added was the Department of Homeland Security, which was, 23 years ago now. It's a bureaucratic nightmare. Real power obviously doesn't have to be done through the administrative state, because if you're a dictator, you just kind of do whatever you want. I don't know if this necessarily reflects poorly on Elon's perceived power and influence. It is insane how present Elon Musk is over there. The only thing that I know for sure, regardless of how much power Elon actually does have, is that Donald Trump is suffering being around him. Donald Trump does not like Elon. I know maybe he's bent the knee here because he needed the money and influence, but holy shit, can you imagine? Have you seen how awkward Elon Musk is? Can you imagine having him following you around and giving you advice? But he never has any idea what he's talking about, but he's always trying to sound smart in a Reddit kind of way, you know? It does make me a little happy knowing that Trump is cursed with him. Yeah, a fitting layer of hell. According to his biography, he's autistic. Yeah, of course he is. It's extremely evident. And it's okay to be ableist. In this case, it's fine. Is Elon smart enough to puppet Trump? It's not really about if you're smart enough to puppet Trump. You don't have to be smart to be strong. How many feudal lords and nobles were there that were water-brained inbred morons but still had enormous power just because birthright, you know? You don't have to be smart to be strong. That being said, there are a lot of smart, strong people out there, and they're probably the ones actually influencing Donald Trump. Again, I think that Donald Trump is out of the game mentally. Unlike his first administration, which was driven almost entirely by his whims and ego, I think that this time he has been identified by basically everyone with a stake in the election as a vulnerable target, both for legal financial reasons, for ego reasons, because he's just old and inept. And with all of that put together, I think what I don't know. Is it going to be Putin? Maybe. I mean, maybe that's a big part of it. Why wouldn't it be? Russian oligarchs have their hands in American politics to a decent extent. We know about the connections between Kremlin and, you know, Donald Trump's 2016 campaign. It's not like anything's changed since then. Yeah, he definitely owes favors. So who owes like the most favor, or who is owed the most? I don't know. I don't know. Who could really say? Elon is sucking up to avoid being jailed for fraud like Elizabeth Holmes and Trump. Rich people don't see the inside of jails. Have you learned nothing from Attorney General Merrick Garland? Okay, have you learned nothing? The lesson here is that it's a small group and you're not part of it, and they will never suffer the consequences of their behavior. The only reason Sam Bankman-Fried did is because he's young money. You know that, right? If everything that he did, if he had done that while being like a 65-year-old, and he did it through like an established firm and he had a bunch of connections, like he knew the only reason Fried made his way into prison is because he ripped off old money rather than being a part of it. That's it. It's the only reason why. If he had been you know, working from like an entrenched institution with a lot of history and he knew a lot of people, no shot he would have seen the inside of a prison cell. Absolutely none. What about Bernie Madoff? I'm going to defer to like exception proves the rule here, because Bernie was a small fish in like a very, very, very large and well-populated pond. You look at just him and it's like just him, you know? Ripped off rich people. I actually forget what exactly he did. I'm kind of consign that information to the dustbin of history. Largest Ponzi scheme in history, stock brokerage. I just realized that to remind myself of this information, I would have to read something. How horrible. Look, I don't know to what extent like Elon Musk is actually the issue here. I don't know like how much it can really be pinned on him. He's a very loud guy. He likes making himself the center of attention, and for that reason he attracts a lot of you know, like it's easy to make him the focal point of the conversation regardless of how much proportional influence he actually has. It's pretty funny though. Other commentators have noted that Musk's persistent presence at the resort over the past few days appears to be unnerving some members of Trump's transition team, who have reportedly come to view the tech tycoon as something of the guest who wouldn't leave the party after the party. It's like hell for Donald Trump, you know. I hope they're always in the same room together forever. Trump's transition team already breaking the law, hasn't signed the ethics agreement legally required. Not that it matters. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Please help. I have Elon's USA chant in my head. USA, USA. Ah, that one. That one's pretty good. They say, he's an innovator, he's a disruptor, he, you know, moves fast and breaks things. You are used to the normie way of doing the USA chant, but he's got better ideas. You didn't do it wrong enough. I genuinely don't think I could do it as wrong as he did. I don't even know how to. I'm still too locked in that old way of thinking, you know?